Hey guys, so today I will be showing you how to make banana bread. So we're going to start with your ingredients that you will need to get. So we're going to start with all-purpose white flour. I use 5 Roses, but you can use whatever you have on hand. That's all-purpose flour. Then we're going to start with your granulated sugar. Then we're going to use baking powder and baking soda plus salt and margarine. I use Basil, but you can also get the margarine that is in bricks, just like your butter. You just have to look to make sure that you're grabbing margarine and not butter. Then we have 3 eggs, milk, and bananas. Next, I will show you the items that you will need to make this recipe. So what I'm going to start with is I have 3 bowls. I use 2 different types of measuring cups, but if you only have one type, that is fine. It can easily be measured either way, either in these little handheld measuring cups, or you can get these nice glass ones, which are just as easy to use. Then we have measuring spoons. Then I use a couple of butter knives to help with measuring out some of the dry ingredients. A spatula, it's always good to have a spatula. They're very handy. I also have a sharp paring knife. Any kind of kitchen knife is also good, but also have your parents with you if you are not allowed to use sharp knives. Then we have 2 lovely loaf pans that we're going to make the banana bread into, and I'll show you how to prepare those. We also have parchment paper plus our pan, which is going to be our non-stick spray that we're going to use in the pans. Then I have a hand mixer. If you don't have a hand mixer, that is okay, because we have a whisk and you can do it with a whisk and do it by hand. And that is all the ingredients that you will need to do this recipe. Okay, so now that we have all our ingredients out and we have all our tools out, we're going to preheat our oven, and I'll show you how to do that with mine. I usually do convection bake, so I'll press my button on and then it says 350, so all I have to do is press start. You can get your mom or dad to help you turn on your oven if you don't know how to turn on your oven. And then the next thing you will do is make sure that you wash your hands, because now we're going to go into actually preparing our ingredients. So now we're going to spray our pans. So I put down paper toweling so that I can spray inside, but usually I will spray them outside so that any of the oil goes outside and not onto the counters and make a mess. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the pan and we're going to spray the whole pan, all 4 sides and the bottom, just like so. I had already sprayed one, but I missed one edge, so I'm going to spray that again. And that's done for that. Then we're going to grab the parchment paper and we're going to cut 2 pieces, pretty much the width of the pan, but just a little bit to spare just in case. So we'll rip those off. And this is where you might want to get your parents if you're not able to use sharp knives to help you with this part. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the liners for the bottom of the pan. And the way you do that is you take the parchment You roll it out, place the pan on top of the parchment. Then you take your knife and you're lightly going to score all 4 sides of the pan onto the parchment paper. Okay, so once those are done, set them aside for now. And then I'll show you what we do with the inside. We're not quite finished with the inside of the pants. Okay? So those are nicely scored. Sometimes they'll actually rip through, which is okay. It will help when you get a pair of scissors and you can cut them out. Now for inside, we're not finished prepping the pans. We put down the non-stick spray. We're going to take a little bit of flour, maybe about close to maybe 1.5 tablespoons of flour, and it'll do both pans. So what you do is you move it around on your pan. I'll bring the paper towel in just in case some falls. You just pat it around until you have the flour coat the whole pan, like so. See? Then what you do is you just give it a little pat and you dump into the next one. And that's how you get all your excess. So then that is ready. And then the next one we'll do with the remaining. Should be able to do it all. Let's hope. And yes, I did it. Then with the little excess that you put out, you can tap it onto the paper toweling. If you choose to do paper toweling, I normally will do all this outside and get it all ready. Then what you do is you can take your paper toweling and then you can throw this into the composter. These I will cut out and then they fall right into the pans. So what you try to do is you try to follow your lines as best as you can that your mom or dad or yourself did. If you want, you can use a pencil and you can draw your lines and then cut it out that way. Whatever is easiest for you. And like so. So then you have that ready. These will go into your recycling. Then this will go into the bottom of your lined pan. And then your pans are ready for your banana bread. Okay? So now we're going to go to measuring our ingredients. Okay, so now we're going to measure our ingredients. So we're going to start with our all-purpose flour, which is going to be 2.5 cups of flour. So I like to use the big measuring cups for this, but depending on what type of measuring cups, even if you have these, you would do your 1 cup twice and a 1/2 cup once. Here I like to use these ones, so I'll show you how I use these ones. So this one is 2 cups, and then on this one we'll go to a 1/2 cup, and then we'll fill those up. If you you need your parents' help, get your parents' help. But if not, just follow along as best you can. I like to just move it around a little bit. That way you can get a more even looking cup. I just need a little bit more for this one, for it to be 2 cups. Kind of just move it around, just bang it a little bit on the table. Okay, there we go. And I have the flour right up to the line for 2 cups. And then I have my bowl here. That will go into there. Well, I guess I don't really need that one, but we can always use that later if we need to. And then our 1/2 cup. Same way, just level it out a little bit, and then just add what you need. If you see that you're over a little bit, you can easily just take your spoon or whatever you have, take out a little bit, move it around, tap it down. If it's not and it's staying on one side, you can just move it like that. And there you go, 1/2. That will go into there. And this is why I have my butter knife. It helps. So then we're gonna put that just to the side. I'm gonna clean up my little mess here. And now we're gonna move on to our sugar, which is 1 2/3. This cup here has 1 2/3, so that's the line that we're gonna fill up to. If you have the measuring cups, so then you would do 1 cup, and then you would get your 1/3 cup, and you do that twice. But I'm gonna do my glass measuring cup, and we're going to do the same thing like we did the flour. We're gonna fill it up, and we're just gonna level it off. Do it again until we reach that line, which we're almost there. And we're at our 1 2/3 cups. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put it in this bowl right here for now. And we're gonna set that aside. Then the next one is our baking powder, which is this one. You can find these in the baking aisle, just like your baking soda and your salt, which we're gonna all do right now. So this is where your butter knife will come in handy, because we're gonna use the flat edge to measure our ingredients. So for baking powder, we need 1 1/4 teaspoon. So you can get those ready. So it'd be 1 teaspoon here and your 1/4. And what we're gonna do is put it into the powder. Get a decent heaping spoon, and then with the back of the knife, you kind of just tap it a bit, and then you scrape it so it's flat with the spoon. And then we're gonna put that into the flour, Then we're going to take the quarter and do the same thing, back of the knife, tap it down, and then you're going to level it off so it's flush into the flour. Then it's going to be the same thing for the baking soda. So we'll just move this out of the way, get the baking soda. If you get the containers, see the little flap inside? We're going to use that as our back of our knife. So once again, you take your teaspoon into the baking soda, then you kind of just level it off into the flour. Then we're going to take our quarter teaspoon into the soda and do the same thing into the flour. That can go to the side as long as we don't drop it. Then salt is going to be 1 teaspoon. This I normally do over the sink. You will do the same thing, put it in, and then give it a little shake, get it all flat, and all the excess usually will fall into the sink. Or you can, if you've done it like I've done it, you can put it somewhere for later and you can use it in other recipes. So that too will go into your flour. And that is pretty much your dry ingredients for now. So what I like to do is you can use the knife, or if you have the whisk out and are using the whisk, you just want to whisk it into your flour so it all incorporates. So then you don't have to worry about mixing it in later. And that's your flour, and all your dry ingredients are ready. So we'll move these out of the way. Next will come your margarine, and we need 2/3 cups. So we're going to use this one to do that. So because I used the Base-L tubs, you can use whichever one. Or if you use the brick, you will take the 1 cup and put it into 3/3, and then get your 2/3 from that. But here I'm using the cup and a tub of margarine. So what we're going to do is we're going to take big blobs and we're going to mash it in to the cup. Like so. Why we do this is so that we can get the air pockets out of the cup, and we can fill it with enough margarine for the recipe. And back of the knife, and all clean. So my first one will go in to the cup and into the bowl, like so. Then we'll do the second one, same thing. I'm gonna take a big blob, put it in, mush it down a little bit. Try to use up all my margarine as well. I like to bake. And this recipe is pretty easy. So there's my second third ready. And we'll put it into the bowl, like so. And out my cup. Like so. And the margarine is done. Then we have 3 eggs. So what I like to do is I usually take it out in a bowl. So it's ready for me to crack. So we'll crack the eggs into the bowl. If you have a difficulty doing it, then you can get your mom or your dad, sister, brother to help you with this point. Right. And our eggs are ready. That'll be done. Okay. Then our next ingredient is our 2/3 cup of milk. So once again, I take my cup. There's 2/3 right there. So that's the line we're gonna fill. Get my milk. And we pour. Right to the line, just a little bit more. And there's our 2/3. So we set that aside. And then the fun part is our mashed bananas. So this recipe calls for 1 1/4 cup of mashed bananas, which is usually 3, but I usually put 4. 1 for good luck, and I like it a little bit more banana tasting. So you peel them, put them into the bowl. Okay, so now we've peeled our bananas and it's in our bowl. So what we can do now is we're gonna mash them. I like to use a couple different things depending on what I have, and I can find them. If you don't have a whisk, that's okay. You can always use a fork and just mash them down. Or if you have, there's something that is called a pastry blender, and it basically works like a fork or a whisk, and you just mash it down. Here's the whisk. Whisk can do the same thing. And you just want it to get all broken up and mushy. Right. Just tap it down to get it out of the whisk. Like so. And then you can go at it again. Get it all mashed up. You want really small pieces so that when you end up putting it in your mix, it'll be ready. I think instead of doing 4, I'm going to go grab another banana just to add 1 more, and I don't think that looks like it's going to be enough. So I'm going to just break it in half to make it a little bit quicker. And mash it, mash it, mash it, mash it. That is your mashed bananas. So now that's ready. So what I'll do is I will finish cleaning up and we'll start actually mixing. So what you're gonna do is put away all your ingredients. So that all that's left are your mashed bananas, your margarine and sugar, your dry ingredients with your flour, your eggs, and your milk. And then I'll leave the whisk and the hand blender plus our trusty spatula. Okay, so now we're going to start the fun part. We're going to start mixing with the hand mixer. If you don't have a hand mixer, you can always use your whisk. but today I'm just gonna use the hand mixer. So we're gonna turn it on and we're gonna start with our margarine and our sugar. That's it. So that's how your margarine and your sugar will come. Kind of look really grainy and fluffy at the same time. So then what we'll do is we'll add our eggs. What you can do is one at a time. And there is our sugar, margarine, and egg mixture together. Already starting to look like a batter. Just scrape down the edge. So next, we're gonna mix in our milk and our flour. We're gonna do this basically, each one is gonna be done in 2 parts. So we'll start with the dry ingredient first. Just put some on there. Just be careful, it will start to fly. That's how it will look like with just our flour. So then we're gonna add the 2/3. We're gonna use half of that. So we're gonna pour that in, about half. Okay. And same thing. So that, with the little spray, is your batter. Now what I'll do is, let me get some paper towel and clean up my little mess. I kind of went everywhere, which will happen. If you can, try to use a bigger bowl so you have less mess to clean up. Then what we'll do is the mashed bananas that you did will go in to your batter, like so. And this is where your spatula comes. Get all your banana into your mixture. And then what you'll do is you'll just fold it in. Don't need the mixer for this. Just fold it in nicely, just so that it gets everywhere. Like so. And that is pretty much banana bread. Now, if you just don't like plain banana bread by itself, when I was putting my ingredients away, I noticed that I had chocolate chips. So I love chocolate, and what better than with banana bread? So if you're going to do that, you do 2/3 cup of chips into the batter. You can also do nuts at 2/3 of a cup as well. And you just mix them in. Because who doesn't like chocolate? If you don't, then you can just leave it plain. It's really just up to you and what you want. And that is our batter. So we'll just move this stuff to the side. Now our pans, that's what we're gonna do next, is we're gonna fill our lined pans. So to do that, I usually have a big soup spoon that I like to use, and I'm gonna turn this paper around so that it lies flat once it hits the batter. So to start, we're gonna take a nice scoop batter, put it into the center each one so that we can get an even mix. And you're basically going to fill them about halfway, roughly, each one. All the batter. Get the spatula, scrape down the bowl as best we can. If you need your parents to help you, get your parents to help you hold the bowl. Go. 2 banana breads ready. So then we just give it a little shake and then pound it on the counters. That way it'll even itself out and that way it'll rise up evenly. Won't rise on a tilt and then get any big large air bubbles out of the way. And then those are ready for the oven. And I'll show you how we're going to place them into the oven. So on top of my oven, I have a cutting board and a tray. So we're going to put our banana bread on the tray, like so. And you want to leave some space, and it'll be easier for you to pull it in and out of the oven. So now that's ready. We're going to open the door and we're going to take our banana bread. Plus it saves you time. You can make both banana breads at the same time and not have to worry. Put it in, close up the door. Then if you have a timer, you set it for 15 minutes and you press start and you just let it bake. Okay guys, so 15 minutes has elapsed and our banana bread is ready to come out of the oven. So we're going to use our tea towels, or if you have oven mitts, to grab our banana bread. And just before we pull it out, we're going to test it to see if they are ready. The way we test it is we use a toothpick. And we go into the center. And we're just going to need a couple more minutes, so I'm going to put it in for another 10. And we'll come back. So here is your finished banana bread. You wait 20 minutes in the pans for them to cool. Then you can pop them out of your pans and you can enjoy them. And that is it for this banana bread. So thanks for baking banana bread with me. Bye.